Darragh, can you tell me more, please, about who Big Bark News and Media are and why you set it up?
So originally, Big Bat News and Media started out in 2019 as just a Big Bat podcast, and it was originally just a podcast. Now it's at the stage where it's grown into something bigger. Uh, our idea here, Dan, is we're trying to create a centralized data hub and centralized news hub for canine news right across Ireland, and we're going to be using a lot of, I suppose, machine learning based analytics to analyze uh, data from the canine industry. And we also have our Missing Paws app, which is a new live map tracker for lost and stolen dogs, which is a massive tool for the anyone who has lost their dogs.
Yeah, what you're talking about there, the missing paws, that's what inspired me to get in touch with you. But before we talk about that, though, I was looking at your website, and it is one of the most colourful websites I've ever seen. You must have a background in digital marketing or got a good company to design your website. Did you, Dara?
So it's actually all done in house. I'm actually experiencing coding and developing myself, and it's all done on what's known, I suppose, as the next generation of web infrastructure, which is headless infrastructure. So it's all
Oh.
based on that. And I also work with a brilliant company down here in Limerick in web hosting called WP Engine. So that's my full-time job. So I have a lot of background there in the web hosting side of things as well as the coding. And I also did a postgrad course with TU Dublin a number of years ago, a remote course in data analytics and fintech.
Yeah, I was thinking, looking at your website, that whoever designed it, and as you're saying yourself, it's has experience, definitely has a lot of experience of designing websites. It's just a brilliant website. Do you still have your podcast going there?
I do. Now, the podcast has been actually off air since last June, but we're just about to go back to it now. Last June, we lost our beloved dog, Millie, our
Oh,
golden Labrador,
sorry to hear that.
and Millie was a huge focus point of the Big Bark. So it's taken me, I suppose, this long. This plan, even for Big Bark News and Media, has been in place since early last year. But when Millie passed away, I didn't have the heart at the time to go back to it. It's only now that I'm really getting back into things.
Sorry to hear that your dog died. My friend who I lived with had a dog called Millie as well, and she lived with us, and she died a few years ago as well. So I know what it's like to lose a dog. It's a terrible experience. Okay, we'll move on. The main thing that inspired me to get in touch with you for this interview, Dara, and you've already mentioned it, is that as well as hearing about your website recently, is that you have an initiative to help publicise cases of lost or stolen dogs. Can you tell me more about this?
Yeah, I can. Like, obviously, Darren, there's a lot of Facebook groups, a lot of WhatsApp groups, and everything out there where people post like missing and stolen dogs. But Darren, unfortunately, that data is so scattered and it's very much all over the place. That there's no one central hub that's not only tracking lost or stolen dogs, but it's the fact that we don't have a centralized place for that data. So if you look at it this way, if you go into An Garda Síochána, into any Garda station and report a dog stolen or lost, they are actually classed on the Garda Pulse system as property because there is no other marking on the Pulse system for dogs. And unfortunately, under Irish legislation, dogs are actually considered property. They're not considered to be live beings. They are considered property. So what we're doing here is with the Missing Paws app, there is a map up of Ireland. People can submit their dogs if they've been lost or if they've been stolen, and it brings up the case on the actual site. People can then report sightings if they think they've seen the dog, and the sighting noticing immediately goes to the dog owner. So they're notified straight away if there has been a sighting, and they can arrange to get in touch with the person who has actually seen their dog.
And you already have a few cases registered, even though you only launched recently, don't you?
Yeah, there's actually I believe it's up to we only actually launched that earlier this week. There's already 20 cases on the site. Unfortunately, Darren, most of those are actually classed as stolen dogs. It's a massive thing in Ireland where you have you have a lot of dogs being stolen, unfortunately,
Uh,
and it's like I said to you, there's no centralized data hub there where anyone can like say how many dogs have been stolen around, and the clear thing is most people don't know. So that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to, I suppose, change the narrative around lost and stolen dogs in Ireland.
and when you say like Big Park News and Media is a hub for canine news, would you include kind of like in your in your podcast as well? I suppose I think you're kind of you're doing advocacy work as well. Would you include like in Big Park News and Media advocacy with kind of politicians or ministers who could be friendly to dog issues?
Yeah, I do know Senator Chris Andrews is he does fantastic work in terms of animal welfare. But unfortunately, Darren, the thing is, it's very hard to get the politicians actually on board for this. It's very hard to get an answer back from them on animal welfare because sadly, over the years, the government hasn't done much in terms of animal welfare, and it's literally I suppose it's pushed off to two national charities. It's pushed off to the biggest charities in dog welfare in the country, and they're the ones who take responsibility ultimately for dog welfare. And it's pushed off into all the other smaller charities around the country too. So it's almost like there's no real accountability there from the government, unfortunately, and that's the sad truth of it, and that's what we're trying to change. And hopefully, with a national data hub now, we will be able to change the narrative on animal welfare in Ireland.
And the two biggest dog charities, I think you're talking about the NSPCA and Dogs Trust, are you?
Well, originally it would have been the ISPCA and DSPCA. You're correct in that, where they have now actually the DSPCA and ISPCA merged there not that long ago. I think it was back in October, November. So they've become one charity. I suppose the other one that's there is Dogs Trust as well. That would be the other biggest one too.
And like am I right in saying there are loads of animal welfare charities in scattered around the country, but they're not funded adequately, aren't they not?
No, in total there is 6.4 million that was allocated in 2025 funding by the Department of Agriculture, and unfortunately, 33% of that went to the NSPCA, and there's other charities then around the country who are only getting 3 to 4 thousand euro. One example being, I think they got in the region of less than 10,000. My Lovely Horse Rescue, who are one of the only charities who have a 24/7 on call uh, system whereby they will go out day and night and answer any call. And they don't just work with horses, they work with lots of dogs as well. So they're one of the most active charities, and they get absolutely minimum funding for all the work that they do.
Okay. Dara, in terms of Big Park News and Media and your advocacy work, particular in relation to your Missing Paws service, if I'm talking to you at the end of the year, say on the RFM, in terms of say Missing Paws in particular, how do you hope things are going by the end of the year?
I hope people are using it because at the end of the day, Darren, that's what we need people to do. We need people to use the app so that way we can get the data populated, we can get into one central place, and we'll have a like I said, a machine learning based algorithm that we're using. It's all custom built, and we'll be using that to actually determine where are the hotspots for dogs being stolen, what are the most popular breeds for dogs stolen, and how many dogs are stolen or how many dogs go get lost or go missing throughout the year. I would say to any animal rescues or charities or even dog-based businesses out there that if they want to get on board with the Big Mac News and Media, we have a charity plan which is free always to charities, where they get all of the features of the site included with their plan. And for businesses, we have a free plan where they can post updates on if they have events coming up. Say, for example, you have a pet shop that has an event coming up that they want to attract media attention for, and all those I suppose all those news stories will not only go on the podcast, but they'll go out on what we call BBNM Newswire, which will, as we build that out, will be distributed to all media outlets and various journalists who take interest in it across the country.